Hey guys, Celine here. Happy Tuesday to all of you. It is our weekly Facebook Live at 3-ish. Not quite 3 o'clock, is it? That's okay. Usually we're on the fly, and today I actually designed something and I wanted to kind of get it ready for you so that we could go every month. Hey Brenda. Every month I do a swap with my team. I'm not sure if Brenda's signed up this time or not, but it is one of the things I look forward to because I can get brand new samples from the catalog or from anything that we are working on. This month, our theme was masculine cards. So we just had Mother's Day, and you know, us card makers, we all want to get ahead of the curve a little bit, ahead of all right, so I gotta look and find us. Hang on. Ha, I found us. That's good. All right, and I can see your comments. Yay! So we are ready to go. So earlier today, I spent a little time putting together one of my display boards. I love these. They're small. They actually fit in a little bag. Look how little they are. They're 11 by 14 all closed up. But when you open them, ta-da! We have joy. And you know what? I think what I'm going to do is flip the camera so I can show you around the display board that I made. And then I started to design my swaps. And the very first sample that I did, I have to be honest, I didn't love it. So I had a do-over and I went again. So I'll show you both samples. And it's not that I didn't love it. Well, yeah, that's what it was. I didn't love it. So if it's going to be a swap card going out to my team, I dropped some stuff. I want to make sure that I'm sort of putting my best foot forward and giving them something that's swap worthy. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me flip the camera and we'll get rolling here. Close up. Sorry about that. So funny. I'm just blocking the camera while I move into my stand. My table is a mess today. It's perfect for crafting. You can tell I've been working on, and I'm going to make sure that the camera is clean because it's looking fuzzy to me. Let me just, is that better? Okay. Just making sure. Okay. Hey, Linda. Hey, Pam. Oh, it's so good to see everybody. No matter what's going on in my week, I love being here with you guys. So thank you. I guess I should turn the Stampin' Up logo around, but then my cards will be upside down, huh? That's okay. We'll put those off to the side for a minute. You can see I got all these die-cut pieces over here and a bunch of mess on my table, but it's really, because I've been having fun today. Let's start with the stamp set. This stamp set is the He's All That stamp set. So all I did was I took a photocopy of the top of this so that I could get the header. And I started doing some stamping, and I stamped every stamp in the sample. So in the stamp set. They have die cuts that go with, and I did the die cuts on the opposite side. So there's a die cut here, but there's a scalloped circle, and there are shapes that fit this, and I'll show you that in a second. Actually, let's just roll over there. So there's this, and then these all coordinate with this. So all of these come in the die cuts. These two I thought looked kind of funky on the board, so I'll come back to that in a second. These two double banner shape things come out of one die. It sits side by side. But they both fall out separately. And then this one is like a swoosh, and the swoosh comes out, and they're two identical dies, so that's kind of cool. I like that. And then there's an oval and a scalloped circle and this dude-approved shape that I think is pretty cool. And then a rectangle that's got rounded corners and an arrow. So coming back to the stamp set, over here I put what that funky die cut looked like because it is kind of a cool shape, and it's worth kind of seeing because it's got a lot of detail in it. There's like 4 squares, and then there's 4 squares cut out of the squares, and so I put one over on this side of my display and wanted to be able to show this off in person. So here we go. This designer paper, and all of our designer paper, it tells you that basic black, Cajun craze, crushed curry, early espresso, Sahara sand, and soft succulent, right? But if you take a look at this particular sheet, all of these shapes legit just pop right out of the designer paper. Here, let me show you. So there's 2 in every package of designer paper. So there's still one in there that I haven't taken out. This was a brand new one. And then all of these shapes just pop out of the designer paper, and there's nothing to do. There's nothing to die cut. It would be a great beginner set for people who don't have a lot of product. It would be great. It would really go good with the starter kit special because you pick out $125 and then you get the in color ink pads. There's 4 things that you get for free with the starter kit right now. But I wanted to show you all these die cut pieces. So let me just take this and put it back over here. Okay, so what I did next was I took, so there are 5 double-sided designs, and then there are 2 die cut specialty sheets. So the 5 double-sided designs I put here at the bottom, and so I did front and back of all 5. So there's 10 patterns that you get, 2 sheets, double-sided, okay? My favorite might be the camping one. Here, let me show you the card I made earlier. This one is following the Casing Tuesday sketch. It was an element here and then some stuff coming down and a piece going across, and that's what I did. What I did with this one was I stamped this twice, and then I fussy cut the white piece, and then I added one of the Rustic metallic adhesive backed dots. Go ahead and say that 5 times fast. From the new offering, so it all goes with the same suite collection, and they come, if you get the whole suite collection, it comes in the bundle. I think it's like $64, but you get the whole bundle, so the stamps and the die cuts, and then you get the designer paper, and then you also get the adhesive back dots in that I call it the yes button option, which is pretty funny. So what I did next was I took that one sheet and I cut all of them out and put them in a pile, and I assembled them across the board so that we could kind of take a look at them. Nice work. Cheers to your years. Best Dad Award. This is like a little, almost like a recipe card. Strong and courageous. I just stuck stuff down on top of each other because I ran out of space. This looks like a mountain, kind of like the base of a card. You could cut it a little bit shorter, or you could cut it and have it on 2 cards. But lots of really cool options. You're a Champ. Old Cars. You're Flippin' Awesome. I love that one. You're a Classic. Some tools. There's really a lot, and you get 2 sets of these just with the designer paper. So 1 pack of designer paper is $15, and you get all of these pieces that go with your 5 double-sided patterns shown down here. Pretty darn cool, right? So this month, my swap theme for my team was masculine cards. Oh, and this one might be my favorite. I think I need to make a card with my husband with these 2 die cuts with the tree and then the With You I'm Never Lost. We are avid RV campers, and we love to go camping whenever possible. So that's the He's the Man Suite collection for you to check out. Does that funky die cut the 1 DAP? Mary, I am not following your question, my friend. So these are all the dies, and then all the designer paper is already cut, so it comes out just like that. So that's what I was saying. Like Here, I'm picking it up again, but they're falling out. They're so easy to pop out. You just pop them out of the sheet and you're ready to go. So you don't even have to die cut these. But I did use the dies to die cut a few shapes here. Oh, this one? Were you asking about this one, Mary? I'm sorry that I'm not understanding. But this one came out of that spot, if that makes sense. And it's a really great suite. I'm loving it. And of course, it wouldn't be a man suite without having some animal antlers in there. I'm sure that I will make a card with that at some point. It's so funny. All right, so I'm going to flip this over and show you. So this was originally going to be my swap, and I didn't love it. So I went again, and I'll tell you, I did start by cutting a whole bunch of these die cut shapes in a couple different colors. I really do like Sahara sand as an option when I'm making cards. I know a lot of people, they go to crumb cake first, but Sahara sand's my buddy. So we're gonna start by making a card base, and I'm gonna score this, let me see, at 5.5. And what's cool about this paper cutter is the 5.5 line is on the ruler going all the way up and down. So I can just line it up with that long line on my paper trimmer. So I'm gonna score one way and I'm gonna cut the other way. So this month's count is 8. So there are 8 people in my group that are going to mail a card to each other. So I have 8 to mail out today. And so that'll be 2 card bases right there. And I have 1 over here, so that's 3. So I need to do this a couple more times. So we'll score first, because then we get 2 card bases out of 1 sheet of paper, and it would be half the work, right? Because I don't have to score twice. So I'm just going to score once and then cut it in half, and that gives me 2 card bases. Okay. And of course I have people that are messaging me. So the brown DSP, the one on the top of your board. I'll have to come back to that, Mary. I still don't, I'm not following what you said. So everything I cut on the left-hand side of that board was the dies, and everything on the right was the stamp set, and then everything else popped out of that paper. I hope that answers your question. All right, so here we go. Hey, Val. Good to see you. Val's part of our Monday night crew. We were on crafting last night. So just like that, I have 7 more card bases because there are 8 people swapping, and I'm going to make this card. So before we jumped on, I decided that this was going to be my card. And I cut a bunch of these, and I thought it was too dark for the designer paper. But what I did do was I cut my designer paper. It comes in 12 by 12. I cut it at 4 the long way, and then I cut it at 3 going across. So I was able to get 12 pieces of this out of 1 sheet of paper. And then this one, I cut to 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. And if you take a piece of 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock and you cut it down the middle, there's your 4 1/4, and then you can 3 1/4, 3 1/4, 3 1/4. So you can actually get 6 of this layer, the brown layer, out of 1 sheet of designer series paper, which is pretty cool. Okay, next I decided that I didn't want it to be empty behind my panel, so I brought in a brand new embossing folder. It's really pretty, actually. It's got all sorts of little happy birthdays embossed in it, it's one of the thinner ones, so it actually would fit in the mini. Here, let me show it to you. And I have a couple of new folks on my team who have never used the cut and emboss machine, so I just brought the whole platform over so I can show you a couple of the sandwiches. You can see I got pieces stuck here. So this piece is supposed to sit right on top of my platform, which is number 1, right? And when I'm cutting, I put this on. So if I'm cutting and I'm using a cutter, this goes in between, this goes next to my platform, right? I also like to have a little bit of a shim, and this is just a piece of cardstock, and you can see how beat up it is, but I leave it on top of my plate number 2. You can also see how beat up my cutting plates are. This one is pretty seasoned, and you know how they say like you have to replace your cutting pads after 100 cuts? I'm pretty sure that this one is probably going on about 10,000, but it hasn't warped. And that's the key. With these cutting platforms, you want to make sure that you keep flipping them over and get them as flat as you can. And if you do have one that starts to warp, maybe throw something heavy on it before you go to bed so that when you go to roll it through, that you're able to do that. It'll flatten out on you, right? Let's see. So if I were using dimensionals, right? If I were going to cut this, I would put the edge of this against whatever I want to cut and roll that through my machine like that. So this is the cutting option. And you'll notice that the directions for cutting is right on this plate number 2. So that's how you cut. I know for some of you this is a review, and then for others, if you've ordered my classes and you don't have a machine yet, it's like, whoa. So if I'm going to use one of these, which is just a standard embossing folder, I get rid of plate 2 and my shim, and I come back to number 1. I still need my sandwich. I put this in. I want to see the H in happy, so I put it there, and then I roll it through. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to push the paper all the way up into the seam of the folder and then run it through, because that makes your folder kind of unstable. And eventually, if you do that a lot, you might have 2 pieces of folder in your hand. So you want to make sure that you're coming back to where the design starts and not putting it in the fold of the cutting pad, and the embossing pad. And that's it. It's pretty darn cool. You can even, and actually this might be the reason that I purchased my first die cutter, you can even take this and decide that you want to emboss your envelope flap. So I'm just going to stick this in, fold it over, and then I'm going to take this over to my machine because my machine's over there and it's easier. I'll roll it through. You're just going to use your imagination. I'll talk to you for a second. I'll roll this through. Booyah. And by the power of TV, when I come back, so now my envelope says, happy birthday. So you can just roll it right through your embossing folder like that. So any card that you're making that has, you know, an embossing on it, you can have your matching thing. Okay. So getting back to my swaps, I usually, when I'm going to make a bunch of swaps, I usually do them in batches. So I will roll all of these over and put adhesive on them. So you might think that 8 cards is a lot if you don't sit down and batch your cards the way I do. But I figured making my swaps with you would be more fun than making them alone. So that's why I thought I would we could have a go at it, right? So here we go. I'm going to take these and I'm going to place it at the bottom of my card here. So I just repeat. And by making swaps this way, I know it's a little repetitive, but if I started this card from start to finish and took the time to pick up the glue, put the glue down, pick up the glue, put the glue down, and did it like over and over one at a time, it would take forever, right? But here I am whipping out 8 cards in short order. And I've got my die cutting done. And I just wanted you to see, it's not that big a deal. It's not overwhelming. My team and I, we do it every single month. It's fun. And you know, that's really the whole point of it. It's fun. But I will tell you that it excites me to be able to show you guys new samples that my team has created. So we did the measurement on this guy, and this one will be next. This is what we need to stick next. So let's pick up the glue once. And here we go, off to the side, right? It's like, woohoo, go team. How fast can we put the swap cards together? Let's see. All right, so then we'll just flip them over, and these are gonna go right in the middle. And again, the espresso layer is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then the designer paper is just 3 by 4, which means I get 12 from a sheet. So 2 pieces of brown and 1 piece of designer paper is what I used to make all of these swap cards. I could have made 12, but I'm only making what I need. Although last week I had a friend who bought every single card I had in the studio. She left with over 500 cards. It was amazing. So I am legit starting over from scratch with my card collection. But that's okay. It won't be long. Doing 8 at a time like this, quick. It won't be too bad. So now I've got this die cut scalloped circle. And when I was die cutting these, I cut 2 at a time on my die cutter. So meaning I ran it through with 2 pieces of paper instead of 1. So let's see. This is Seal Plus. I'm not worried about not having enough adhesive. 1 little bit will do me. And then I can place my scalloped circle. So Facebook did something new to my videos, and I don't even know what it is. Yeah, Mary, I still don't know what you mean, the one on top of my hand. We will have to come back to that, my friend. We're going to have to, all right, so I got my circles on. And then I did a little bit of this brown ribbon. It's espresso. It is so nice. It is called Faux Suede. Let's see. So this was the one that I decided not to, and I did use the Casing Tuesday sketch, so I'll still post it, but it just wasn't my favorite card, so it happens, right? You ever make a card and it's not your favorite and you just move on, right? But this one I liked enough that I was going to make it in multiples, 3. Now, when I'm cutting for a class, sometimes I'll open like 3 or 4 bolts of ribbon, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'll cut them 2 at a time or 3 at a time just to make it go faster for myself. And I'm just going to lay a little bit of adhesive down here. Yay. Okay. So that will be the next step, but this step is the one that's going to take the most amount of time. So maybe we'll just do one of these, but one of my favorite ways to color a stamp is with 2 colors of ink. And I always get questions about it from new stampers. And where did my markers go? Here we go. So for this one, I used these 2 markers, Cajun Craze and Early Espresso. Now people, I know that everybody loves the blends, and I do too. But for this one, you need classic markers. Classic. Because these are water-based and they won't dry on you while you're coloring your stamp. So you could do 2 colors, you could do 5 colors on one stamp, but I like to take, so our markers come with a side that you write with, and then it has like a skinny little line there. And then this is the side that I use to ink up my stamps. And you can do this with photopolymer. It's a little bit more tricky. It really sits nice on the red rubber. But in either case, what I do for a method, and my team member Joanne Cardone came up with this method, is you scribble all over your image that you want to ink up, and then you pretend you didn't just do it, and then you do it again. And this is going to give you a nice, rich color. And I'm going to use multiple colors on this stamp, which I really love. It really elevates the stamping. It makes it look fancy, fancy-like. And here are my tires. I'm going to make them brown, like my words. So again, I'm going to pretend I didn't do it. I'm going to go over it again. And here's my words. Again, just kind of like whoosh over it. Pretend I didn't do it. And do it again. Okay, and then here's the top. Happy birthday. So this one's going to take me a bit of time. So I'll just do one, and then I'll finish up my swaps tonight and get them in the mail. But, okay, so once I'm all done, I pre-die cut some of these, and this was from that bundle. And because I've been chatting, this is probably drying a little bit. Oh, and look, I see a little bit of funny. Oh no, that's just part of the stamp. Okay, good. So I'm going to give it a huff. So like you're cleaning your eyeglasses, it's going to re-moisten the ink on the stamp. And then to a classic. So the only thing that could make this card better is if it had like a little bit of Winkostella, I think. So let's go for it. I'm going to take the Winkostella and add it to the parts of the stamp that are colored. But here's the thing. If I roll over the parts that aren't stamped, like the headlights, this will actually move my ink. So I am going to try and stay just on the paint job for this. But if you wanted to, and let me see, here's the back. So like a little bit came off. It will move your ink, so be careful. If you wanted to, you could add headlights. So I hate the blue lights. I don't know about you. Like at night, they always blind me. So we'll go with the old-fashioned yellow headlights. But it gives it a cute little. But you can add as much detail or as many colors as you want to this. And apparently I've used all my dimensionals, so I'm going to grab a pack. Zippity zip done, that's it. You know, and sometimes like it, I think that the design is the hardest part, you know, because you really, it doesn't take that long once you get going. And I have another swap to do tonight for a group that I belong to. They call us SSUS, Sensational Stampin' Up Swappers. And then I have another group that's arriving. I got the notice that my swaps are coming back to me. So I make a whole bunch of cards and I swap with other talented people like yourself. And we trade ideas. And I get some of my best ideas from you guys. Okay, so you might notice I left a big gap there, and that's because this ribbon, to me, seems a little bit thick, and I don't want to interfere with it. So, and it might help if I put the ribbon on straight, huh? Give it another check. And then I can peel just a couple of these to make it sticky. This is all about the height. So even though I mapped it out with dimensionals, it doesn't all need to be sticky. It's only really about the height. They're sticky enough. So what do you think? Maybe we should add a little of these. These also go with, they're the Rustic Metallic Adhesive Back Dots. Whew! That's twice I did that. I feel like I should say God bless me or something, like I sneezed. All right, totally funny. Here we go. So we got a big one and a little one, and then I'm gonna put a big one down here, just a sprinkle of manliness on this guy birthday card. Oh, so yeah, and then this is the other one. I don't know, it's pretty enough. I think it's the banner things that kind of, and I put the adhesive dots on this one too, but I think it's the banner things that I didn't love, but it came out of this week's Casing Tuesday sketch challenge, and I was like, So I went back to the drawing board and I used a good old-fashioned image. Now I want to go back and see if I can figure out what Mary Kingsley was asking me, because I'm still not getting it. She says at the top of the board, the brown one. I guess I'm not so everything up here, all of this, the antlers, they all came out of that one sheet except for the metallic dots. All of this came out of those die cuts. All of this came out of those die cuts. Even the little arrows came out of the die cuts that are in the designer paper. This is the 12 by 12. You had 5 sheets left, front and back. Here's the die cut negative images and what they looked like. Okay, so all the dies. And these are the stamped images and what they looked like. And this little Sahara Sand one came out of that other little die cut negative right there, because I wanted you to see what it looked like all die cut out, because it's pretty darn cool. But there's arrows and circles and ovals and banners and all sorts of fun stuff. But yeah, so I hope that answers your question. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. Let's flip the camera. I'll see if you have any more questions. Da-da-da. Ta-da. Okay, cool. Let me see. Anybody else have any questions? That funky die cut. Yeah. So all the die cuts at the top came out of that one sheet. So I think that was the answer to your question. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. It seems like I'm done fast today, but I still have 7 more cards to finish up. But I will take my time and do the marker, and that'll be the most time that it takes with these. So anyway, I hope that you guys have a great day. If you don't have a demonstrator, or if you want to be a demonstrator, let me just tell you, the starter kit deal is crazy. You get $66 in free product in addition to the normal awesome kit. So if you have a big wish list and you're not already a demonstrator and you'd love to try out our group, let me know and I can hook you up. A couple of people signed up this week, so I got their packets in the mail today. I send out like a little welcome card and let people know what our team does, because we have a pretty cool group. On Tuesdays, Christine posts the Casing Tuesday sketch, and we try and play along with that. And somebody else posts the news, and we have Mail a Card Monday, and Thinking of You Thursday, and there's all sorts of fun stuff we do. So great little community. Thank you, everybody.